Leamington Spa is well known for its spa history and for its grand Regency buildings. But I wonder how many people know that one of Britain's greatest boxers also comes from the town. His name was Randolph Turpin, and he wore these gloves while training for a momentous world title fight in 1951. My name's Hugh Jones, and I'm Curator of History at Leamington Spa Art Gallery and Museum, and I'm going to tell you a little bit more about the man who wore these gloves. Randolph Turpin was born in Leamington in 1928. His father, Lionel, was from British Guiana. Lionel stowed away in a ship to come to Britain to enlist in the army during the First World War. He served in the King's Royal Rifle Corps in France and was gassed and seriously wounded. While recovering from his wounds, he met Beatrice Whitehouse, who was from Leamington. The couple settled in the town after the war, living in a basement flat on Wills Road. They were probably the first black family to settle in Leamington and, as Randolph's brother Jackie later recalled, were treated with a mixture of curiosity and prejudice. Lionel never recovered from the effects of being gassed and died in 1929, shortly before Randolph's first birthday. Beatrice struggled to bring up 5 children on her own on a war widow's pension, and for a time the family was split up, with Randolph going to school in Warwick. Given the hard upbringing they had, it's perhaps not surprising that all 3 Turpin boys, Jack, Dick and Randolph, took up boxing, encouraged by Beatrice, whose father had been a bare knuckle fighter. Dick, the oldest, turned professional in 1939. After serving with the army in the Second World War, he resumed his boxing career. He won the middleweight championship of the British Empire, but was not allowed to compete for the British Championship because black boxers were barred from fighting for British titles. This ban was finally lifted in 1948, and in June of that year, Dick won the British Middleweight Championship. He's thought to be the first black fighter to win a British boxing title. Randolph started his boxing career with Leamington Boys Club and later trained at the Nelson Club in Warwick. He turned professional in 1946. Over the next few years, he only suffered 2 defeats and won the British and the European middleweight titles. By 1951, he was ready to challenge for the World Championship. His opponent was Sugar Ray Robinson of the United States, who many consider to be the greatest boxer of all time. We are lucky enough to have the gloves that Turpin wore while training for the fight. They were made by A.G. Spalding and Brothers and were acquired by the museum in 2017. The fight took place at Earl's Court in London on the 10th of July. Turpin took the fight to Robinson and won on points over 15 rounds, achieving one of the greatest victories by a British boxer. He was greeted by a huge crowd 2 days later at a civic reception back in Leamington. A rematch between the 2 opponents took place 2 months later in New York. Turpin again fought hard, but was beaten in the 10th round by Robinson, who regained the title. Randolph's reign had lasted 64 days. Turpin still held several titles and fought once more for the world title in 1953 against Carl Bobo Olsen, but lost again on points. After this defeat and the punishment he took in it, Randolph Turpin's career went into decline. He suffered several defeats and retired from professional boxing in 1958. Away from the ring, Turpin had many problems in his personal life and his relationships. Although he had earned a lot of money during his career, he was not good at keeping it, and by the early 1960s he was bankrupt. Continuing money worries and the effect of the punches he had taken took their toll, and in May 1966, Randolph was found dead in his flat above the cafe that he ran in Leamington. An inquest ruled that it was suicide, though some of his family disputed the findings. Randolph Turpin's life was tragically short, but for a few weeks in 1951, the Leamington Licker, as he was known, had been the champion of the world.